Hello, hello, hello. We're back. We're going to discuss the Percy Jackson and the Olympians episode 7. We're almost done with the series, but we have reached the 7th episode. So, this is the discussion show where we talk about each episode as book fans. So, welcome back, or if this is the first time you're tuning in, hello. Um, Before we start, I have two disclaimers as always. There will be some obvious book spoilers for the first 5 books. And of course, episode spoilers for the latest episode, which is 7. Which one is this one? We found the truth, sort of. I think it's that one. This one. Another disclaimer I completely forgot is that this is a discussion. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Please tell me your thoughts so we'll have a conversation about it. But I don't want to hear anything that's like just not valuable. Like, I don't want to hear, I hate all of this, all of it sucks. Tell me the things you did like and the things you didn't like, or just tell me the things you liked. Whatever you want, just don't make it hateful. That's all I ask. Okay? Cool. Overall, this episode was interesting. It wasn't exactly what I thought, and there were a lot of book changes, but otherwise it was pretty enjoyable, and I don't know, it's getting better and better, so that's always exciting. So, right, what happens in this episode, right? So, the team is kind of dropped off in California and they have to find their way to the underworld and speak with Hades. The whole plan here is like, okay, we're going to try to save Percy's mom and try to get out. But things happen. They find that Percy actually has the Master Bolt in his backpack, the backpack that Ares gave him. So everyone's kind of like, trying to figure out what happened here. Did Ares plan this? Like, what happened? What's going on? So that's kind of what happens, and they try to save Percy's mom. So we start off the episode with Krusty, which is cool because we didn't see this in any movie adaptation yet. So I thought the scene was very, very short, but it was interesting. I liked, the little going invisible mode. I think that was cute. And Krusty just I don't mean to be offensive, but he looked crusty. Like, this is great casting. As we progress in the episode, you realize that there's a lot of changes that are happening, but also I'm too lazy to like pop open one of these books and try to figure out like the differences. So I'm not even going to glance over like every single detail that they changed. I would be here for 45 minutes if I did. I thought everything revolving around the underworld was actually pretty interesting. It was a little too gray most of the time. Like, I understand it's not going to be sunshine and rainbows down there. Or what does he say? Hades is like candy cane and something. It's not all that, but I was hoping to see a bit more like dark blue or red, something that like kind of resembles like hell a little bit and not just like all washed out in gray and like misty. No, I understand the mist, but I feel like they overdid the mist so they wouldn't have to like do too much CGI here. Though the CGI on Cerebus, however you say the dog, I thought he looked really cool. Um, yeah, and of course the little rubber ball. I liked how that was introduced early on, and that was used to, put him to or just distract him. Right? It happens a little differently in the books, but I liked the scene with them. Then they walked through the fields of asphodel, and that was pretty interesting. This wasn't exactly how I thought it would have looked. This actually followed very similar to the comic book. I have a few illustrations of the fields of asphodel, and it looks very similar, so they might have used that for visual inspiration, so that's pretty cool. Something that threw me off was Annabeth being like stuck, right? She talked about how this is because there's something that she regrets. So everyone's kind of like, or this is how I assume everyone who's watching is like, ooh, what is she regretting? Now, I've heard the theory that it's because Annabeth has come to realize that Luke is the actual lightning thief and she hasn't shared that information because she has a crush on Luke, she loves Luke, all of that. That's what I think is her regret, but the whole scene confused me a little bit because, like, I'm a book reader and I'm thrown off, right? I think that's kind of the point. They trying to make this new for everybody because the original content's like 20 years old or something. So the original content's like 20 years old. So I like how they're adding fresh things. Um, Otherwise, when Annabeth like I guess crushed her pearl to like get out of it, I didn't understand that that was happening. Did anyone else, like, catch on? Like, I know I'm 24 years old, but, like, it was, kind of difficult to understand. I thought she got flushed. I thought she got flushed, like, in, Chalice of the Gods or something, like, I thought she got flushed, and then later on when Percy and Grover used their pearls, I was like, "Oh, okay, that's what happened?" I didn't really understand that. The same thing happened in the last episode, like, they flashed like a 2-second clip of like these two women walking in the casino, and then somehow Percy knew that they were there for like 5 days or something. I don't I don't really know how they make all of these tiny decisions to perpetuate the story, but uh, I mean nonetheless, I think that's what Annabeth's regret is. I also think that this also feeds into the theory that the showrunners like want people to think that Annabeth is going to betray them, right? Like that was in the prophecy. Book readers don't know who it is. So maybe like Annabeth having a what's it called? Regret, and Hades talking about how someone went invisible. I think they're trying to imply that Annabeth stole it, but as readers we know better. Speaking of Hades, I thought he was really fun, interesting character. I liked how they didn't go the traditional, stereotypical, like asshole, like goth guy. I think it was cool. What I like is that with Rick, the author of the books, he never does something that's like completely like obvious or stereotypical, right? Like Percy has green eyes, not blue eyes, right? Some people would just think, okay, blue like the ocean. No, no, no. Percy has green eyes. I like that. Well, book Percy does. You know what I mean? And also like in the books, like it never says like Percy controls water or Percy moves the water. It's he wills the water. He wills the water, or he wills himself to take care of a situation using water. I like how Rick doesn't just say he controlled water. So kind of like that. I like how Rick also did not make Hades like the typical like asshole dude. I mean, I'm not saying he's a great guy because we'll see him, worse in the later books. But I don't know. I think he was a fun guy. I like the casting overall. He was just pretty cool. What I really, really, really liked about this episode was the scenes of Sally and little Percy, but especially the scene between Sally and Poseidon. If you know, like if you watched it, I think you know what I'm talking about. I thought that scene was so beautiful, and they wouldn't look each other in the eyes because I don't know. I guess it implies that's like a forbidden love, and they're never going to connect again in that romantic way. I thought it was so interesting, and like the way Sally was like so heartbroken, but she was doing it for the right reasons, and she needed help from Poseidon to just like push her in the right direction. I don't know, it was just a very, very sweet scene. That just looked so stunning, and I'm shocked that we saw Poseidon. I did not expect that at all, so I thought that was really cool. Can I talk about like my biggest complaint? Do you remember the last episode, or like every episode they show like a preview like right after the episode ends for the next one? Last week's episode, like, I don't know, like, I was under the impression that the fight with Ares was going to be this week. The fight with Ares was going to be this week, and it did not happen. Like, I was like 10 to 5 minutes, like, nearing the end, and I was like scrubbing through to see the little like icons. You know what I mean? Like, you know how YouTube does when you like try to skip ahead? And I didn't see like Ares again, and I was like, "Ah, sorry, what?" I mean, he doesn't have to, like I can't be like too angry that it didn't happen. I'm just a little disappointed because I feel like Percy has not fought well on he has not fought on his quest well in 7 episodes. Most of the quests he's been like poisoned or unconscious, or it's been like I don't know, 10 seconds long. And it makes me worried too, because like this leaves a lot for the last episode if there are 8, right? Because you have the Ares fight, you have to go to Olympus, and then you have to somehow wrap up the entire season. I don't know how we're going to do that in a well-paced way, because pace has been an issue uh, before. So I'm just a little worried about that. But I am excited for next week. I think this is going to be the big hurrah. And yeah, I want to see how it comes to a close. I do hope they follow the books a little bit more closely. in the later seasons if we get them, because the books get so good. Like the Lightning Thief's good, right? I mean, it's typical like world building, like just character building, like it's not anything like spectacular, but like the other books, they get so good. So I hope we kind of stick to the original a little bit more, right? Yeah. I'm very excited to continue watching, and please, 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 please let me know your thoughts below. But yeah, that's everything. I'll be back for the finale next week, so stay safe out there, Half-Bloods. Bye.